Hi, Uncle Roddus has been very, very naughty. Okay, so last video I spoke about the some of the record labels that I'm going to be collecting on vinyl, especially jazz related stuff, and I showed this album from Herbie Hancock, which I picked up locally at my record shop second hand, although it's almost in near mint condition. And this is a Blue Note reissue from 2014. Now, the Blue Note label, which is owned now by Universal, had a 75th anniversary thing where they were remastering a lot of their early jazz CDs, jazz recordings from earlier in their catalogue. They were remastering them according to this blurb on their website, that they were remastering a lot of the stuff for reissue as high resolution downloads at 192k or 96k for people who are into that way inclined. And while they were at it, they'd said they really should be putting out some vinyl copies of the original albums at the same time. So they've started releasing, the first releases were in March 2014, which was Art Blakey's Free For All, and they're up to something like 100 releases now, or 80 releases. So they've basically been doing them every month. They release another 5 to 6 titles, and going right back from their earliest pressings right through to later ones. So anyway, what happened was I found that Herbie Hancock album, and I went on the website and discovered that they'd released all these. And so I got on a site that we have in New Zealand called Fish Pond, which is pretty much our version of Amazon, and had a look there, did a search for Blue Note vinyl, and came up with a large selection of vinyl. And fortunately for me, they were having, I don't know if they were having a sale, they often have discounted prices. And one of the beauties for Fish Pond, of course, is that I don't have to pay so much in the postage. Even though some of them are coming from overseas, they're actually very good prices for us. So sometimes I can get stuff off there that is comparable in price from buying from Amazon in the UK. I don't buy from Amazon in the US anymore because the postage has become prohibitive. I mean, I'm paying $24 I think for an album to come from America, whereas if I buy it through UK Amazon, even though it still comes from America, I'm only paying about $10 postage. So generally I can buy an album from Amazon UK for $30-35, which is still a bit pricey. But what happened was that they had a bunch of these brand new for $25, and that's postage included, and most of them were available here in New Zealand in stock. So I suspect that what's happened there is that they brought all these in when they were released, because the New Zealand dollar has plummeted big time in the last 6-12 months, and now it's way down against the British pound and the American dollar, which has put all the prices up. Which is making life a bit more tricky, but I got them. So basically I had a box come, 2 boxes arrived this week with something like 22 albums or something from this Blue Note catalogue. So I'm really rapt about that, and I went through this book. This is, I guess a lot of jazz guys will be familiar with this. This is the 8th edition, 2008 Penguin Guide. So this is a book of reviews and highlights of jazz, and they have a bunch of what they call the core collection, which is 200 CDs, or this is a book on CD releases basically, but it's albums that they consider to be the pinnacle of jazz. And going through my little collection here and looking at the reviews in the Penguin Guide, and many of these records have you know, the 4-star reviews and are a part of the core collection. So they're very highly rated amongst the jazz guys, the jazz fans. I mean, these guys are fairly expert on it, but far more than I am. But really rad. So spent, you know, considerable time that I've had available this week going through these records. I haven't played all of them yet, but so far the ones I've played, I mean, the sound quality is absolutely stunning on the VPI. Yeah, I'm just absolutely blown away. It's we're sitting there, I mean, you know, live at the Village Vanguard type. It's like I'm almost in the thing, in the venue. It's just absolutely blind. The only thing that will beat them are the ECM pressings, because ECM records, I mean, there is nothing that will touch those as far as sonic quality is concerned on vinyl. But no, these are just fantastic. So I'm not... Generally, in the past, I've been more into contemporary jazz than the older stuff from, you know, the 50s and 60s. I had a few Blue Note albums on CD, but not many, maybe 2 or 3, which will end up replacing on vinyl, which was something I said I wasn't going to do, but in this case I will. But I'm quite keen to get the whole collection that they're releasing. It's certainly going to be an ongoing thing, so they're going to be available with new stuff. But with the amount of quality of music that I'm listening to is just mind-blowing. I'm really getting into it. I mean, like I say, it's a great way for me to open up and get in touch with this sort of music, because it's something I haven't explored in a lot of detail. There's a John Coltrane album on the way, I think the only one he did for Blue Note that hasn't made it yet. Also there's there's also a Cannonball Adderley, I think, albums. There's another 2 or 3 albums in the post that haven't arrived yet. And plus, I went back on Fishpond and I went through their catalogue, and I've put in my wish list all of the albums that were still at $24, $25, which is still another probably 20 albums that I can, when I can get some more funds, if the prices don't go up between now and then. So hopefully, being stocked, old stock or existing stock, they'll keep the prices at the same, and I'll be able to get my hands on those. So I'm building a pretty good collection. So I'll just quickly flick through these. So, you know, I guess jazz fans and jazz guys will know all these. So they're all brand new pressings on 180 gram vinyl. As far as I can tell, they're pretty much the original covers and the original notes on the back. So yeah, I mean, I haven't actually ever seen in our local shops any original Blue Note releases. People obviously hold on to them. I mean, I'm sure a couple come in there and again, but so there's lots of notes on the back of them all. And the only thing that's interesting is a lot of them don't actually have the recording date, so I've had to look up on the internet for them to see when they were actually recorded. This one here is a later one from 1985. Very, very mellow, pretty mellower than a lot of the other stuff, which is, I mean, most of them are up-tempo, hard bop, you know, with ballads mixed in as they were. So, but I haven't heard a bad one yet, to be honest. I mean, and most of these, like I say, they've been rated fairly highly. They are the classics of jazz. Blue Note is pretty much the label of its day in the 50s and 60s. This one's pretty cool. I really like this one. So as you can see, yep, they've got the original numbers on them from the original Blue Note releases. Kenny Drew. All the notes on the back. Again, the numbers. So yeah, as far as I'm aware, these sleeves, apart from the 2015 or 2014 dates on the bottom and the Universal Music and the barcodes, of course, these are, as far as I'm aware, these are pretty authentic to the original covers. Cecil Taylor, who's a bit of an anomaly in the Blue Note catalogue, you know, he's pretty much free jazz. This one here, so that one's a little bit more different, but I love this one. This is really nice. Grant Green, he's a guitarist. Yeah, great guitar lines. Nice album, this. This one here is a particular favourite. I was going to grab the CD, but I've got a CD of John Zorn when in his earliest days playing with a bunch of other fellas. It was around the early 80s or mid 80s. He called they called themselves the Sonny Clark Memorial Quartet. And they did some of the stuff that's on this album and a couple albums, and it's one of my favourite jazz CDs that I have. This one's actually quite a modern one, from 1998, so their catalogue that they're reissuing is some of the more modern stuff as well. Hank Mobley. So I'll quickly whiz through these. Some of these I haven't heard yet. I haven't listened to this. I've got a bit of time this morning to go through and have a listen to a few more of these. Although I've spent a lot of this morning trying to catch up with some of the stuff that's going on in the Facebook vinyl community, which I've recently joined, and enjoying seeing guys posting records they're listening to at the time. Haven't listened to that Herbie Hancock. This Wayne Shorter one, I haven't actually got through to that. This is actually the part of the pile that I haven't listened to yet. So these arrived about 5 days ago, and so I've managed to get through probably just over half of them. Don Cherry. And like I say, these are just the vinyl stunning, the sound is stunning, the sleeves are, as far as I'm aware, near original, so I'm looking forward to getting some more. There's the very first one that they released according to their website, or the listing, I assume. That's a good album. Some of these guys, and most of these guys, I'm familiar with their names, but I haven't been really that familiar with their music. Ornette Coleman, I actually haven't listened to this yet. I like Ornette Coleman. I've actually got a copy of his Something Else album in the way, which is not a Blue Note release, but I actually found it for a reasonable price on Fish Pond as well, so that's heading my way and should arrive soon. And hopefully in the next month or so, if I can get some more, once I get some more funds and pay a few other bills, I'll get on to those other Blue Notes and those other cheap ones. Anyway, there are still a few up there that are around the $30 mark, or just under the $30 mark. So that's still a reasonably good price. If I was actually buying these in the shop, I'd probably be paying nearly $40 for them, I would imagine, in here locally. So quite a haul for the week, and enough to keep me going, and I'm just absolutely enjoying them to the maximum, and I'm really pleased that I'm, it's probably now in my life that I can actually enjoy those more so than when I was a lot younger. I was listening to a lot of more rock and roll and punk and 60s stuff, but which I'd still do. But yeah, I'm really cool, really impressed with that. And okay, thanks for watching.